Hello everyone. Welcome to this AFCAT English Masterclass. Top 30 English grammar rules before AFCAT exam that you need to remember. And in today's session, we'll go through 30 simple yet high impact grammar rules, okay, that you need to keep in your mind when you are attempting your English section of the AFCAT paper. These rules are directly based on patterns from the previous year FCAT papers. Also, in my previous classes, I've discussed with my students who appeared multiple times for FCAT classes, and then I have made this PPT based on all the research and all the data. The first thing that we need to see here is that in English section in FCAT has 25 questions of 75 marks. Many candidates struggle here because they focus only on vocabulary. They learn more and more of words, do the synonyms, antonyms, while grammar-based questions make up the majority that I've seen. Okay? Especially the error spotting, okay, unseen passage, sentence improvement, okay, and fill in the blanks as well. So the good news here is that grammar questions are very repetitive. The pattern is the same. Once you know these 30 rules, you will be easily able to spot and correct errors in seconds. Okay. So our goal here is to give a quick recall and do a error-free attempt in the exam. Instant recognition. Find out the errors instantly and try to correct them. Also, see the basic rules that we have to keep in mind while attempting different parts of the English section. Okay, so let's move forward and see. So the first here is the sentence structure and agreement. When I talk about sentence structure and agreement, I mean subject and verb agreement that we have to keep in mind. The verb must agree with the subject in the number and person, right? Be careful with phrases that comes between the subject and the verb. They can confuse you. Okay. If I say the bouquet of roses is on the table. Okay, so bouquet is singular, is will be singular. So I cannot write a bouquet of roses. Bouquet of roses is basically many roses together, right? So it does not mean that this is plural. Okay, so I do not have to write the bouquet of roses are. That will be incorrect. Okay, bouquet of roses is. So always make sure that your subject verb agreement is correct. The next thing here is the tense consistency should be maintained. When I talk about tense consistency, I need to say that your tense should be uniform unless time changes. Keep the tense consistent unless there's a clear shift of time. So the example can be he went to the market. He went to the market and brought vegetables. Okay. So he went to the market and brought the vegetables. That is correct. If I write he buys the vegetable, that will be incorrect. You can also write bought the vegetables instead of brought. Okay, he bought the vegetables. So that is correct. Because the time has changed, you also need to change the tense here. Next we have here is pronoun antecedent agreement. Pronouns must match the number and gender. Pronouns should match the noun it replaces with number and gender. Okay, for example, if I say his or her homework, right? Every student must submit his or her homework. That is the correct sentence. I cannot write that every student must submit their homework. Okay, so there will be a wrong example here. So in informal grammar, there is plural. Okay. Every student must submit their homework will be incorrect. I have to use his and her. Okay. So here is another example that is mentioned. The list of items are on the table. The list of items is on the table. Okay, this is incorrect. This is correct. Let's move on to the next one. We have verbs and modals that always come together. Always make sure that your modals show the mood, possibility. Okay, your mood, your possibility, or necessity. Use the right one for the context. Can for the ability, may for permission, must for obligation, should for advice. For example, I can swim, you may leave now. Okay, giving the permission, you may leave now. You must wear a helmet, that is an obligation. You always have to wear a helmet. Should should be used for advice. You should eat healthy. Okay. The next head is the conditionals. Conditionals talks about situations and results. Okay. Type 1, type 2, type 3 patterns. We have done this in our class, but let's go through it again. If you study, okay, you will pass. This is a real possibility, right? This is the real possibility for the condition. Okay. If I use the type 2 condition here, so type 2 will be if I were rich, I would travel the world, right? This is an unreal situation, unreal present. Okay. The third type pattern, if I talk about the third type pattern, I can use the past regrets. Past regrets like if I had studied, okay, if I had studied, I would have passed. You see the three conditions that we have to talk about the situations and the conditions. Let's see the next point, passive and active voice. We always focus on the subject doing the action, okay? Subject doing the action. Passive, we have to focus on the object receiving the action, okay? Object should be receiving the action. If I talk about passive voice, if I say active voice, then subject should be doing the action. For example, the example for this can be the teacher praised the student, right? The teacher praised the student will be the example for an active voice. I can use the example for passive voice. Turn this into passive. The students, sorry. The students were praised by the teacher. Okay. So here the object is receiving the action. Let's move to the next point. We have reported speech and comparison. When I talk about reported speech and comparison, I can also say direct and indirect speech, right? So when changing to indirect speech, okay, when changing any sentence to indirect speech, you need to adjust the pronouns, okay? Adjust, change the pronoun, verb and tenses as well, and time expressions or time words, okay? For example, he said, I am tired, okay? If I change this into indirect speech, I need to write it like this. He said that he was tired, right? I need to remove the inverted commas, remove the comma, and change the pronoun and the verb. Clear? Now will change into then. Sorry, today will change into that day. Okay, this will change into that. The basic grammar rules for reported speech, direct and indirect. Okay, next we have is comparison rule. Comparison rule, when comparing one thing with a group, use any other to avoid illogical meaning. Okay. For example, she is taller than any other girl in class. Okay, she is taller than any other girl in the class. Instead of saying she's taller than any girl in the class, which implies she's not a part of the class, right? So we have to use any other when we are doing the comparison rule. The same example is mentioned here. Next, we have here is preposition, articles, and negative. So the use of preposition is very important. Each and every word has a specific rule that we have to revise again. I know you might be preparing, revising, and doing all the things you can do to prepare for a SCAT exam, but do go through each and every preposition once again. Okay, some words always take specific prepositions. Good at, capable of, fond of, interested in, okay, interested in. For example, she is good in cooking. Okay, she is good in cooking instead of using good at cooking. Okay, here we have to use good at cooking. Okay, so articles. If I say articles, a and an, we can use for general reference. The is used for specific reference. For example, a dog is a loyal animal. Okay, any dog I'm talking about here. Okay, now specifically, the dog in my house is very playful. The dog in my house is very playful. I'm talking about one specific dog that is at my house. Now, talking about double negative, avoid using two negatives in a sentence. It creates an opposite meaning. Okay? I cannot say I don't have no money. Okay? This is wrong English. I have to say I don't have any money. That is the double negatives in a sentence. It just is not grammatically correct. Okay. The next we have is descriptive grammar. So in descriptive grammar, we have to make sure the adjective order. English adjectives follow a specific order. Opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, purpose, and noun. This is how you have to write the adjective. For example, I say beautiful, a beautiful, small, old, a beautiful, small, old, round. Okay. Now color. Red. Now material. Italian. Okay. Wooden. Dining table. This is how we use the adjective in this order only. Always. Okay. Next we have is gerund and infinitive use. So some verbs take gerunds, some takes infinitive. Okay. I enjoy swimming, but I decided to swim, decided to go to swim. Okay. So I decided to go. That to go is an infinitive. And swimming is a gerund. Okay. Now comes the each, every, either, neither rule that we have done multiple times. Let me erase this first. So each, every, either, neither takes a singular verb. Neither of the boy, neither of the boy is guilty. Okay, singular verb. Always remember. Each, every, either, neither will always take a singular verb. Then comes the rule for the phrasal verbs. These are the short rules that we are doing. Okay, in short, just a quick recap. These are verbs plus preposition. If I say verb plus preposition, these combinations with unique meaning. For example, look after, give up, carry on. Okay, so look after is basically take care of. Give up, quit. Okay, carry on means continue. There are multiple that we have done during our classes. Okay, confused words affect, affect. Affect is a verb. Effect is a noun. Lose is not tight, right? This loses, misplace. These are some confusing words, okay, that you need to go through. Okay, this lose again, not tight, but this loses, misplaced. Okay, so these are some commonly confusing words that you have to keep in mind. Next, we have a sentence precision. If I talk about sentence precision, parallelism is something that we have to keep in mind. Keep similar grammatical forms together. For example, if I say she likes singing, okay, she likes singing to dance, okay, she likes singing to dance and cooking. So this is not parallelism. We have to keep similar words together. She likes singing, she likes dancing and cooking. This is also the error can be there in the sentence, and it is quite easy to find errors like this. Next is redundancy. Avoid repetition. Free gift. Okay. Avoid unnecessary repetition in the sentence. For example, two words. Past history. History is also past, right? If I say return back, okay, two similar words. Free gift. Just use history. Return. Okay. Gift. No need to add another word that means the same. Now, make sure words form fits the sentence. Okay. Quick learner, not quick learn. Okay. He is a quick learner, right? This is the correct sentence. Your word form should be correct. Some nouns are singular. Despite ending with S. Okay, for example, news. For example, police. For example, mathematics. Ending with S, but still it is singular. If I say police, this is plural, but it is not ending with S, right? If I say cattle, it is also plural, but it is not ending with S. Okay? So you have to make sure the words, if they are singular or plural, along with that, the verb is matching or not. Now, some special grammar rules that we can see here is the usage of less. Always use should with less. For example, he ran fast. Lest he should miss the bus. He ran fast lest he should miss the bus. Next is the usage of few, a few, the few. Degree of quantity. Shows different quantities. All these three shows the different quantities. Let me erase this. Okay. When I talk about few, this is almost none. Okay, you cannot see here, right? Let me write it here. If I talk about few, it means almost none, right? If I talk about a few, it means some. A few friends came over. Okay. If I talk about the few, I mean all those. The few books he had were precious. Okay. The few books that he had were precious. So the usage of all these degree of quantities, few, a few, the few is totally different. And you have to know that when to use which one. Next we have is conjunction pairs. Conjunction pairs using matching pairs only. Both के साथ हमेशा and ही आएगा. If I talk about either after some time in the sentence or will come. If I talk about neither after some time in a sentence nor will come. Right? Apostrophe position. The next is apostrophe position. Position which shows the position with apostrophe placement. For example, boy's pen. This pen belongs to this boy. Apostrophe is used after the word with S. If I say boys hostel, this is a plural. This apostrophe is used for showing the plural in a noun. Quantifiers. Many for countable, much for uncountable. Example, many apples, we can count them, right? Much water, we cannot count the water. Simple, easy rule. Idiomatic expression, if I talk about idiomatic expression, idioms follow fixed grammar only. We cannot change the grammar in idioms. I look forward to meeting you, gerund. Okay, not meet you. I look forward to meeting you will only be the correct form because idioms, as learnt, always follow the fixed grammar rule. Next we have here is ellipsis and omission. Omit without losing meaning. You can omit repeated words if meaning stays clear. Okay, omit the words that is being repeated. For example, he can sing and he can too. You can remove can. You can sing and he too. Okay, so omit without losing the meaning. Inversion in conditionals. Okay, swap words order for emphasis. For example, had I known, had I known, I would have acted differently. Okay, swap words order for emphasis. Next is placement of only. Near word, it modifies. Placement of only, place only next to the word, it modifies. For example, I only ate 2 apples. Means I didn't drink. Okay, I only ate 2 apples. I have to write, I ate only 2 apples. Here it means that I am mentioning the quantity, right? That I have eaten 2 apples. Next we have it here is adverbs versus adjectives. Don't mix them. Okay, never mix the adverb and adjective. She sings well, not good. Okay, she sings good is an adjective, right? She sings well. Okay, so these are your grammar rules. These 30 rules will help you crack most questions in your AFCAT. You always have to keep in mind whenever you are doing any question related to your English part. And the most final tip that you have to remember here is revise these rules daily. Revise them once. I know you don't have that much of time, but you can at least take out 1 hour for revision. Try practicing 20 FCAT questions of grammar every day. Okay. Especially focus on error spotting and sentence improvement. That is the place where you will get most of the marks. Okay. These rules ensure clarity and logical flow exactly what examiners want. Use your correct voice when you're talking about active and passive voice as per meaning. Okay. And parallelism in lists, you always have to keep in mind. English in FCAT is not about mugging up. Okay. It's about your accuracy. Okay. Your accuracy, your speed, and the clarity you have for these English grammar rules. Okay, and these rules that we did today, you'll automatically avoid most of the traps and confidently attempt the paper. Combine these with your daily reading and your vocab practice. Okay, solve your previous year question papers. Okay, and I know you are set for a high score. All the best for your SCAT exam. I will be posting more videos that will be useful for you. And let's make your English a scoring weapon. Have a great day. See you soon in the next video.